Top tech companies are all jostling to buy Flipboard, a social network aggregation magazine format mobile app for a whopping $1 billion. Now, this is a business that started just about 5 years ago, which proves how big both mobile and content are indeed. Now, the irony is that this company is more or less focused on one aspect of mobile content. So what are the other areas and how can we tap into them? Now, can we replicate the same thing in Nigeria, considering the huge number of talented people we have in the ecosystem? Can we really say that the mobile content industry in Nigeria has really taken off? I'm being joined by Tosin Onanuga, a 1996 graduate of computer science from the University of Lagos. Tosin has consulted widely, both locally and internationally. Of note is the fact that he consulted and delivered Skype mobile site worldwide. He's a co-founder of Mobile Xctera. Welcome to Tech Trends.
Thank you, Fred.
All right, take us through the mobile content industry.
Oh, well, mobile content industry, I can say, let me just take you back to when we started. It was basically then more of content that has to do with low-end phones, then with ringtones, monophonic ringtones, SMS content. You can get information via SMS. You can get information via using the USSD channel, and you can do some little bit of transaction even using SMS. But today, the focus has changed from just SMS-based content now to more of data-centric content and mobile internet content. People now are using their phone for virtually everything. I mean, like today, right now, we have more than 60% people going through the internet using their mobile phone than using the desktop. And in Nigeria, I think it won't be wrong to say we have over 70% of Nigerians using their mobile phone to browse the internet. And the number of people right now on the internet on mobile phone in Nigeria is over 150 million. And the content space is now huge. Not just you having content to deal with the network directly, but you can have a content that is basically has nothing to do with the network, but having a mobile site where you can give information to people on the go.
But can we place a monetary term how big this industry is now?
Wow. In Nigeria right now, I think we're talking about billions of naira. Maybe I can't give you a real figure.
But the fact is that it is huge.
It is huge. Billions, what billions of naira? In Nigeria alone, I mean billions of dollars.
Okay, but has the industry taken off in Nigeria? Now, by that question, I mean, do we have Nigerian players in that space? Yes,
we do. We have a lot of companies. When we started, we were just practically 2 companies in 2003. Now, I can't really count how many companies that are doing mobile content directly as value-added service providers with the networks. We are probably more than 20 with the networks. Now, aside the companies that have connection with the networks, there are many young companies, how they're doing apps for people, doing mobile sites for companies. Over hundreds are probably playing in the mobile space today, and it's still growing. There's a young guy that I could just talk about that used to work for my company, and when he left, he formed his own company. He's today developing apps for companies, developing apps for himself. He's got an app on the App Store, like 3 apps on the App Store. He's doing well, and there are many like that, and there are many that if you go to co-location hub, you'll find a lot of the young guys there as well.
Okay, but let's talk about the challenges of that particular industry. Why can't we get a Nigerian app that somebody will buy for $1 billion?
Oh, well, we're getting there. It's not impossible. It's just the way we focus in Nigeria. Most of the apps that we do are Nigerian-focused apps. For us to get to the level where you get someone to pay $1 billion for an app from Nigeria, you have to think out of the box. You have to think out of Nigeria. You can't think about Nigeria alone and expect Google to come buy your app. You have to think of what you're doing is not only meant for Nigerians, it's meant for the entire people in the world. Then they will see the value in the app. They'll see the value in what you're doing, and they say that they can also make money from it. So we need to get to that level first.
Yes. What about the other challenges that you think the industry is faced with now?
Right now, payments is one big issue that I think young guys are facing. I always tell young developers doing mobile apps right now that I believe...
By payment, you mean?
Like how people can actually purchase these apps. Okay. Right? If you go to an app store today, for you to buy, most of the time, some of the app stores use PayPal. Now, PayPal is just gradually coming into Nigeria. It's not fully effective where you can just have an account on PayPal and You can buy things on App Store easily. Although we now have MasterCard and Visa card that people can use, but it's still not widely accepted in Nigeria so far. So people still find it difficult to buy apps easily on these app stores. And we have a lot of high-end phones. These are just smartphones that people can use. What about the low-end phones, where people don't even have data, where the only means they can purchase an app is using shortcodes. Now, using shortcodes, the revenue share in this country, it's not favorable to developers.
I had that in mind.
Yep.
I mean, 70, 80% to the telcos.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that outrageous?
It is, and this is what I've also been also championing with other members of WASPAN. WASPAN is a body of wireless application providers in Nigeria, which we are also a member of. My company is also a member of. We've been talking to the net telcos to look at how they can increase this bar, because when we started, it used to be like 50%, both sides.
50,
then
50%.
Sides. Glow used to be graduated up to even 60%, depending on how much you generate for the network. And MTN used to be, came down to 60-40, but now they've gone to like 70-30. Airtel.
So what went wrong? Is it the policy? Is it that the policy isn't strong enough on them? I mean, why?
I believe the regulatory is as well. They need to actually step into this as well, because in Kenya, the same network Airtel in Nigeria is in Kenya. Okay. Now in Kenya, they pay out as much as 50%. The same Airtel in Nigeria is paying 20%, 25%. Now, what's the difference between Kenya and Nigeria? We have more people in the country. Now, if you can give us an excuse of, oh, we've got a lot of expenses about diesel and all that, but that's, I mean, you and I know that can't account for the difference in 30% and 50%.
So I think that's one of the biggest challenges that
is one of the biggest challenges. And that is why young developers don't even want to use shortcode.
Yeah.
Because the money that comes to them at the end of the day comes to peanuts.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about the skills. Now, if whether I'm a young graduate or I'm somebody who wants to delve into this industry, what skill sets do I need?
Well, you have to have the zeal to program.
You have to be a coder.
You have to. You don't have to be a computer science graduate, but you have to have the passion to be a programmer. And you have the passion to be a programmer, and you have analytical reasoning skills, then I think you can practically be able to do anything you want to do. So.
Okay, this question is a question that would relate to your first statement. Is SMS dead?
Wow, that statement, I keep saying it to people as well, that SMS is dead. But is SMS really truly dead? No, but it is on the decline, because many people can communicate through this using data, using a lot of apps. WhatsApp is there, competing. My company also has we have an app that we've developed that people can communicate with each other freely without using SMS. It's not how they, but we have, and there are a lot of companies doing that as well. There's Skype and everything. So SMS these days is no longer peer-to-peer. It's gone down when it comes to peer-to-peer. But in terms of other usage like content, SMS is still reliable. In terms of company alerting users, SMS is still very reliable as well. And so, I don't think it's totally dead, and it will forever be there. It won't die. But it will just go on the decline. It will be on the background, but it won't die.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Well, okay, we'll see how that plays out. Yeah. Okay, but as we begin to wind down, you've been in this mobile content industry for how long now?
12 years now.
12 years.
So 13 years.
Okay, so as a way of advice to young people watching this program now, what opportunities do you see will become future trends around that mobile content industry that they can start to focus on?
Data, mobile internet. Focus should be on building apps, like I said, building apps that are not only meant for your ecosystem, but location-based apps.
Are apps successful? I know for sure that people don't make money from apps as such.
Good.
Except for the big companies.
Now, you can make money from app.
Okay.
People want to make apps, right? And think, oh, I'm going to sell this app for £1, and I'm going to get 100,000 people to download it. No, you can think through your model and probably just decide, I'm going to make this app free, but it's going to be an app that everybody will need, some that people really want to use. Now, if your app is free and you have a lot of people that are using this app, imagine having an app where 10 million people are using, right? Then where you can get this money from is from advertisement.
Okay. The data.
You have the data, you have the numbers. You can go to Coca-Cola, look, I've got 10 million users.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yes.
All right, so your final word as we begin to round off. First, I'd like to know if you have any word of advice for the new administration, and then your general final words.
Well,
technology-wise.
Technology-wise, NCC needs to step into the mobile content industry. They need to help to protect local companies in Nigeria. By putting a regulation that can not just allow any company from outside the country to come into Nigeria and just work in this space. I'm not against competition. We already have competition within the country. But I'm against companies that come into Nigeria forming a company that has no staff, nothing in Nigeria, not employing any Nigerians. And yet we have local companies that are employing Nigerians that can increase the labor force in the country. And for the federal government to enable, power is very important. I see if we all have power, if we all have data, if we have internet, abundance of broadband in the country, then I think there'll be growth in the industry.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tosin, for coming on Tech Trends.
Thank you very much.
All right, you've heard Tosin,
Yep.
There is opportunity in this industry, but we must support our own local companies and also get the telcos to be fair to these young developers. We'll be right back. On our Tech Clinic today, Obi sends an email requesting to know how to get further education online. Now, Obi, the internet has made it possible for just about anyone to get an education, so you could go for the paid option if you can afford it, or there are websites like Coursera.org where you would find selected online courses from top universities free of charge. And some can also issue certificates after meeting all the expectations. But here's the challenge. You might have to deal with data. Many of those courses are delivered via video streaming services, which simply means high data usage. Other than this, then I think it is a great opportunity if you would like to broaden your skill base. Personally, I have joined and I've received certifications for a number of courses outside technology. The second question says, I've been blogging for 2 years now, but I am not profiting from it. What can I do? This came from Sam via Facebook. Well, honestly, blogging is serious work, and it usually takes a long time to see results. In fact, blogging is quite tough that a lot of professionals would advise against being a full-time blogger. Even if you wish to take up blogging full-time, you should have a product or a service that you can promote through your blog. Based on the fact that you sent me your blog URL, I will recommend a facelift for your blog, as it does not look so convincing yet. You may also consider moving to your own personal domain name. Truth is that blogging is serious work, so you need to be ready to pay the price. Please keep those questions coming via email or our social media as displayed on your screen. I'd like to end today's show with a quote from Thomas Houston, Vice President at Forrester Research. He says, mobile is becoming not only the new digital hub, but also the bridge to the physical world. That's why mobile will affect more than just your digital operations. It will transform your entire business. Remember, you can watch the entire show on the channel's TV YouTube page. My name is Chukwemeka Agbata. Until next time, think innovation.